Hello viewers, welcome to BAETTA International English, IELTS, TOEFL, GRE, ELT and TESOL programs. This is Int'l, Chairman Active and Head of Linguistics, BAETTA Bangladesh. As a part of our IELTS 8 Plus Guaranteed Expertise Teaching and Training Exclusive course, this lecture is on IELTS Listening Module Step 1. What, why and how is IELTS Listening Test? In this step of IELTS listening preparation, you will learn about Lesson on Point 1, Introduction to IELTS Listening Module. Lesson on Point 2, Timing in Listening Test. Lesson on Point 3, what does IELTS Listening Test aim to assess? Lesson on Point 4, is there any difference between IELTS academic and general training listening? Lesson on Point 5, what pronunciations and accents are used in IELTS listening test? Lesson on Point 6, how many parts are there in IELTS listening test? Lesson on Point 7, how to write answer in IELTS computer delivered test CDT and paper based test PBT listening module. Lesson on Point 8, is listening easier or difficult than other three modules of IELTS? Lesson on Point 9, IELTS listening module at a glance, and lesson on Point 10, a table of contents in IELTS listening module. So, this video is going to be very enriched, important and helpful to all of the IELTS candidates, especially for the IELTS beginners. Let's get started. Lesson 1.1, Introduction to IELTS Listening Module. International English Language Testing System IELTS is the world's leading test for assessing English language proficiency. It's an international standardized test to evaluate English language calibration and competencies on four basic skills of English language: listening, reading, writing and speaking, together with sub-skills including grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, fluency, accent, coherence and so on. Lesson 1.2, Timing and Schedule in IELTS Listening Module. Listening is one of the four compulsory modules or subtests in IELTS. It's an audio listening based test of 30 minutes which encompasses four recorded parts or sections of audio listening consisting of monologues and dialogues. Each part is followed by 10 test items, tasks or questions of 1, 2 or 3 categories or types. You will hear each section once only. You don't have any chance to rewind, repeat, playback or replay the audio listening. The total time for the test is 40 minutes. The listening takes 30 minutes, but you then have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Lesson 1.3, what does listening test aim to assess? You must remember that during IELTS listening test, you are not only listening but also Lesson 1.3, what does IELTS listening test aim to assess? You must remember that during IELTS listening test, you are not listening only. At the same time, you have to read questions, sincerely and also write answer very carefully. During listening test, you are to use sight or vision, hearing or auditory, vestibular or balancing of your bodily or physical movement, complete concentration with patience and perseverance as well as kinesthetic skills together. It seems like that you are driving a car speedily on a busy road where terrible accident may occur anytime if you commit even a little or single mistake or lose your concentration for a single second. IELTS listening module aims at testing, evaluating and assessing knowledge, abilities, skills and calibrations of non-native candidates based on how much they are able to understand British, Australian and Canadian native speakers' conversation, presentation, speech, accent and settings so that they can make meaningful communication with them during working or studying in English native speaking countries abroad. Lesson 1.4. Is there any difference between IELTS academic and general training listening? No. There is only one and single IELTS test for both IELTS academic and general training as well as EQVI and life skills test. There are some changes or differences in reading and writing in IELTS academic and general training module, but in each type of IELTS, listening module is same. In each of the 4 kinds of IELTS, listening test construction, question pattern, evaluation and scoring system all are same and have no differences. Lesson 1.5. What pronunciations, accents and intonations are used in IELTS listening test? In IELTS listening test, audio contains both dialogues and monologues, British, Australian, Canadian and sometimes North American native pronunciations, accents, intonations, pitch sounds and tones are used with international standard. IELTS audio listening clips, tracks and contents always maintain IPA International Phonetic Alphabet accent strictly. They include British, Australian, Canadian and sometimes North American settings, pictures and scenarios, comprises local names, places and incidents regarding their social activities and educational involvements that range from daily common social facts to high-level educational context of a university teacher's academic lecture on a related topic of a subject or faculty of university study. Lesson 1.6. How many parts are there in IELTS listening test? In IELTS listening test, there are 4 parts or sections of audio listening consisting of 2 dialogues and 2 monologues. IELTS listening part 1 is a dialogue between 2 persons on a general context or common social incident. IELTS listening part 2 is a monologue on a general context or common social incident. Listening part 3 is a dialogue between 2 students or a group of 3 or 4 people on an educational matter like research, thesis, study tour, etc. And listening part 4 is a lecture delivered by a university teacher of a concerned subject, department or faculty. Each of the 4 parts continues approximately for 7 to 8 minutes and is followed by 10 questions or tasks of 1, 2, or 3 categories or types. After each section's audio listening, you will have half a minute to check your answers before turning to or starting the next section. Lesson 1.7. How to write answers in computer delivered test and paper-based test listening module. You have to write answers on question paper directly while listening is going on. You have to write the answer by using pencil within the time audio listening is running or playing. Then you will have 10 minutes to transfer answer to the main or real answer sheet. Candidates have to confirm correct answer by mouse click while computer delivered listening test, but write correct answer on question paper using pencil during paper-based listening test. In computer delivered test, you will not have any extra time, though in paper-based test you will have 10 minutes for transferring answer to main or real answer sheet. Lesson 1.8. Is listening easier or difficult than other 3 modules of IELTS? If you ask this question to me, which module in IELTS out of 4 is the easiest? From my own practical achievement, experience and observation, I will assure you, of course, IELTS listening module is the easiest on, because so many candidates including myself have got individual score 9 band on IELTS listening module. If you follow my given instructions, tips and tricks properly, as well as can apply them in your actual IELTS test accurately, I believe certainly you will also be able to achieve IELTS 9 band score as I have done in my IELTS listening test, although may it be a little tough to some candidates. Lesson 1.9. IELTS listening module at a glance. The listening test is the same for both IELTS academic, general training, EQVI and life skills test. You will need to answer 40 questions in response to 4 recordings. You will listen to 4 recordings, which are a mix of monologues and conversations from a range of native speakers, and you will only hear each recording once. IELTS listening test is made, constructed and conducted to assess your listening abilities. Listening module is administered at the very beginning of the IELTS test. You have already learned about that the listening module takes 40 minutes, 30 minutes for testing and 10 minutes for transferring your answer to the real answer sheet. There are 40 questions in listening module with 10 questions in each section. Lesson 1.10. A table of contents in IELTS listening module. Test module, listening, for both academic, general training, EQV and life skills test. Time duration, total duration 30 minutes for listening and 10 minutes for transferring answer to answer sheet. So absolute total time is 40 minutes. Total task 40. 10 into 4 is equal to 40, that is each section is equal to 10. Task type. It encompasses 4 recorded sections of audio listening, consists of 2 monologues and 2 dialogues. Section 1 is a dialogue between two persons on a social context. Section 2 is a monologue on a social incident. Section 3 is a dialogue between two people or a group of 3 or 4 people on an educational topic or subject matter. And Section 4 is a lecture delivered by our university teacher of a concerned subject or faculty. Each of the 4 sections continues for 78 minutes and followed by 10 questions of 1, 2 or 3 categories or types. Viewers, in my next video on IELTS Listening Step 2, I will talk about various types of questions, items, patterns or format in each section or part of IELTS Listening module in detail. To learn more about IELTS, please visit our official website www.ieltsrajshahi.com. You can also visit our another website www.IELTS IELTS Kazla Rajshahi is our official Facebook or Meta ID. To learn English and prepare for IELTS, you can also follow it. Our official course books and course materials can help you a lot. You can watch my previous videos on IELTS, links of which are given in the description box below. Guys, that is the end of my lecture on IELTS Listening Step 1. Thank you.